or was there a time na you were referred to rehab medicine? Or may mga injuries ba kayo before or your parents nagko-complain ng mga knee pain, back pain? Wala naman? Or first encounter with rehab med? Okay. No worries, inaantok pa ata. So have something beside you, coffee or anything. It's going to be a 2-hour lecture. Sige, let me start. No? So physical medicine rehabilitation. Okay. So the goal of rehab medicine is to bring about the process of helping the person to reach the fullest. It's not just physically, it includes psychological, social, vocational and educational potential. Clear naman, no? Okay. Potential consistent with his or her physiological or anatomical impairment, environmental limitation, disorders, and life of plans. This came from Delisa 1998. This is our textbook in rehab medicine as well as to Brad. All right. So in rehab medicine, we're not just talking about going back physically. For example, if you have patients or clients who has a problem with ambulation or walking, no, iba yung stride pattern niya, it's not just what you see physically. It's also psychological. Okay, just to give you an example, if someone who had a stroke, definitely meron siyang physical problems, no? Meron ng what we call disability. We are to discuss later on, no, what's the difference between impairment, handicap, as well as disability. Okay, per each aspect, depending on how you see it, and some of which could be on the societal aspect, some of which anatomical, or some of which you're born with it. Okay, so in rehab medicine, we are to try to bring back the patients on the functional aspect. Okay, for example, for a stroke patient, anatomically, you have a problem with the movements. You have a problem with spasticity. Okay, spasticity is something velocity dependent, and then it's not just it; it's also psychological. Syempre, your patients, they're used to being mobile. They're used to being uh, having their life without limitations. And therefore, in a snap of a finger, what physical aspect, we also try to encourage the psychological part of which social. Syempre, we are to see patients on how they are to bring back to their social aspect. If the patients could go back to their functionality, if the patients could be cleared to go back to work, doon na rin pumapasok si vocational and avocational as well as the education potential persistent. So in trying to deal with majority of the rehabilitate patients for PMR, physical medicine rehabilitation, as a physiatrist or specialist in the field of physical medicine rehabilitation, we just don't treat the patient per se. We try to treat everything as a holistic approach from the psychological aspect, from their impact to the society, and what could they do in terms of the functional benefits like going back to work. No? So marami kaming kino-consider, and if you could remember in your family medicine, no, your primary, secondary, and tertiary, depending on what part, rehab medicine is always part of it. Lalo na sa preventive part, okay, for back pain in cases, no, we try to educate on the ergonomics. Down the line, if you have a stroke, so rehabilitative phase, no, or maintenance phase for your cardiac rehabilitation goals. Okay, so rehab medicine, not just we don't just deal with how the patient looks. We deal also in a lot of aspects, no? Lalo na yung sa psychological aspect. We try to motivate our patients. Eventually, if for such cases like stroke, kung hindi man sila makakabalik to their full functionality or what they were before, yung 100% normal, what we're trying to address with rehab medicine is going to try to go back to the fullest function that they could achieve. All right? Sige, so medicine, it's a branch of medical science concerned with comprehensive evaluation and management of patients with impairment and disability. It could be arising from the neuromuscular, pwedeng stroke. Okay, you have cases like mga myopathy. We also have musculoskeletal cases, no, your cumulative trauma disorders, your back pain, shoulder cases, no, or rotator cuff tendinopathy. Mind you, if you say tendinopathy, it's the umbrella term, okay? Kasi you have your tendinitis, if it's an acute, basis, and you have your tendinosis, no, chronic basis siya. Also for cardiovascular, we deal patients who had myocardial infarction. Okay, very important for cardiovascular rehab, no? It's the maintenance phase as we try to go along the way. Pulmonary disorders, COPD, asthma patients, okay? Psychological, syempre patients who had stroke, patients who had spinal cord injuries, patient who underwent amputation, definitely, no, there's an aspect that we want to improve on. So, psychological. And having that said, social, no, there's an impact. Definitely, syempre, amputees, mawawalan ng limb. So, paano sila makaka-go back to the society? So, we try to improve on the orthotist and prosthetist side. No? We give um, we give orthosis, no, or we give also yung mga below the knee appliances, no. Okay, so vocational disruption concomitant with them. So the field of rehab medicine is really malaki, and our goal is really just to have a holistic approach in time and deal with our patients. We don't just give pain medications. We also try to talk to our patients thoroughly, and we try always to motivate them. Eventually, the main goal is to bring back their functionality. We may not achieve 100%, but close to the best function that they could achieve, right? Sige, it's a branch PMNR. It's a branch of medicine emphasizing the prevention. Okay, so as I've said earlier, prevention. No, so ergonomics. Majority of you know, we've seen each other for at least 2 years already. No, so naabutan niyo pa yung online class. So it's important to ergonomics. How you sit down properly, and what would be your interaction towards your chair, your tables, and then your computers. Uh, Yun yung sa preventive side of rehab medicine. No? And also, syempre, part of rehab medicine is exercise medicine. No? Prevention, so if you have a good cardiopulmonary care, definitely you'd be preventing such as hypertension, syempre, stroke, no? And if you engage yourself in exercises, syempre, yung alam natin yung means, no? Also, sugar level would be also good. So diagnosis and treatment of disorders. So particularly we deal, our field deals about the nerves. Okay, commonly, doc, carpal tunnel syndrome. We see it a lot. Clinics, lumbosacral radiculopathy, yung mga may impingement or entrapment of the spinal nerves, herniation of the discs that could present as paresthesia, no, or your pins and needle sensation, muscles and bones. Okay, so there's really an overlap with rheumatologic cases and orthopedic cases, lalo na for rheumatologic, no, yung mga joints. Some of which autoimmune diseases and for bones, syempre orthopedic cases as well as post surgical cases, no, that may produce temporary or permanent impairment. Later on, we'll be discussing the difference again, handicap, disability, as well as impairment. Okay. In other words, rehabilitation physicians are nerve, muscle, and bone experts who treat injuries or illnesses that affect how we move. Okay, so kumbaga, from the name itself, no, physiatrist, no, it's really for the movement of physical medicine. It's coming from the Greek word phys. I have to go back to it. No? It's from the Greek word, you know, in our textbook from the Bradens. Okay, so moving on. No? So classical medical therapeutics. No? So we have the biomed medical model to treat the cause of the disease. So definitely, example, supraspinatus tendinitis, no? Repetitive over shoulder movements. Okay? If there's an inflammation, we try to give anti-inflammatory medicines, no, to treat it also. The rehabilitation medicine is the biopsychosocial model which treats the cause and secondary effects of the injury and illnesses. All right. So this syempre, spinal cord injuries, paraplegics, no? Patients will not be able to move or be mobile, no, by use of their lower extremities. Okay. So physical medicine and rehabilitation or physiatry. Commonly in clinics, this is usually interchanged with psychiatrists, no? Nagkakamali parati ang patients with that. They have a scheduled consultation for a psychiatrist, pero the name itself kasi it's similar in spelling, kaya nagkakamali of psychiatry. Okay, so branch of medicine that is involved in the use of physical agents such as light. We make use of thermotherapy, therapeutic effects of heat, therapeutic effect of sound, no? Sound waves, acoustic, deep modality like your ultrasound, water, no? If you try to do the immersion techniques for your ultrasound, water is very, very also important for rehabilitation cases of osteodegenerative types of no? Aquatic therapy or rehab. Electricity, syempre, we have the gate control theory for the pain alleviation. Use of hands, manipulation, we try to do a myofascial release and other maneuvers in the management. What we call articulatory techniques, no, for the joints na medyo matigas, no, we try to move it repetitively in order to at least prevent cases of flexor synergy pattern like for stroke and prevent joint ankylosis or pagdidikit. Okay. So anticipated outcomes, no? So our goal as physiatrists, no, or physical medicine and rehab specialists is to enhance and restore functional ability. As we've said, we may not achieve the 100% coming from the pathology, like your stroke or spinal cord injuries, but what we're aiming for rehab medicine is to improve the functional capabilities of our clients, for our patients, and definitely the quality of life. Stroke is a permanent disease. Spinal cord injury also is a permanent disease. Kumbaga, we're trying to look at the brighter side. Even we have such patients who had these conditions, but majority of our patients could go back to the living that they are, that what they had, no? Meron lang modifications in terms of mobility, but eventually in terms of the functional aspect, nag-i-improve naman. And the goal is independence. Okay. Goal of rehab medicine is to again bring back the patients to their functionality. So definitely, if we see our patients improving, eventually we recommend discharge from the physiotherapy program. So the goal of rehab medicine is to improve your independence, no? Because it's part of the activities of daily living, which you could try to help yourself on your own. And a shortened length of stay. So very important, no? Like for stroke patients or like for myocardial infarction patients or cardiac rehab, our goal of rehabilitation medicine, syempre, is to lessen the length of stay in the hospital. We don't want patients staying for a long time because yung mga infections natin, hospital-acquired pneumonia, and a majority of our program can be done as an outpatient basis, but there are cases that kailangan din inpatient rehabilitation. As we've mentioned, once the patient is medically stable, rehab medicine could come in and help the attending service of their needs, no? And most efficient use of evolving healthcare systems, as well as an improved quality of life, no? So, kung parating mapapansin mo, sa slides, you see a lot of function and a lot of improvement of quality of life, as well as the activities of daily living, all right? So the goal really is the overall enhancement, independence. So we want our patients to become independent. For example, stroke patient, eventually, pag lumalakas na si patient, syempre from bedbound, eventually to being transported by a wheelchair, dahan-dahan into walker, your quad cane, and eventually single tip. Dahan-dahan, bring about of their mobility without the use of the ambulation aid. Also, we try to improve the psychosocial aspect. Most important is the quality of life. All right. Okay, classes of treatment strategies: preventive or corrective additional disability. So you've mentioned in your family medicine, no, this is what we call the primary, no, educational and preventive, no, musculoskeletal side to prevent back pain. Ergonomics is very, very important, no. So you don't just sit long hours in your chair. Every now and then, try to at least stand up, try to walk around and do some stretching. Eventually also for the usage of your keyboards, no? If you use it not in line with your ergonomics, definitely you'd have your mga carpal tunnel syndrome, right? And then corrective, no? Definitely for your posture, if you try to lift something from the ground, don't try to at least bend forward, yung truncal flexion natin. Try to at least bend from your hips, knees down. So yun yung important and very important if you try to lift something from the ground, no? Everything should be very close to your body, to your proximity. If you try to lift it away from your body, humahaba yung lever, therefore, it would really add to the back pain. It's in a form of a mechanical disadvantage. Okay, enhanced systems unaffected by the pathologic process. Okay. In rehab medicine, hindi lahat could go back to their functionality. Okay, there are stroke cases, lalo na pag massive, you could see flexor synergy pattern, no? You try to have an additional, yung mga spiral movements of the muscles to try to improve on it, no? We also try to at least add on from the occupational therapy side, no? Yung mga assistive and adaptive interventions, no? We give splints, we give orthosis, no? So very important din siya. And enhance the functional capacity of the systems affected by the disease. Okay? Syempre, neurologic capacity. There's what we call neuroplasticity in trying to go back from the stroke cases. And then everything will have an improvement. Yun nga lang, it would take time also. Okay? So, very important for rehab medicine is to at least try to address the patient's concern and dahan-dahan natin sila incorporate to go back to their social aspect, to go back to their functional capabilities before the disease or the pathologic state. Okay, so classes of treatment strategies, we also try to use adaptive equipment to promote function. Okay, in cases for patients who have a problem with their, for example, you have a problem with your tennis elbow or lateral epicondylitis, which is the common extensor origin inflammation. So we try to use assistive adaptive devices. No? For example, you try to cook, yung handle is very tight, no? Yung hand ninyo. So we try to add something just to widen the grip, okay? And then adaptive equipments, meron tayo like a long shoe horn. If your patients would need help in wearing your shoe, an assistive adaptive equipment that would try to help in wearing the socks. No, maraming types to. Therefore, I hope you can see it as you go down the line if you try to rotate in our field. Okay. Modify social and vocational environment. So how are we to try to modify? You know, therefore, very important also, we have this guidelines would help patients that would accommodate wheelchairs, mayroong proper length and width of of the door. Meron din tayong proper steepness of the hallway, okay? And meron din tayong kumbaga equipments that would also help, you know, like the lift. We also have the assistive devices and the ambulatory aids that would help our patients. Okay, psychological techniques to enhance patient's performance and patient education. Okay. For treating stroke, no, we have what we call yung constraint-induced movement therapy. There's a criteria or guideline for this one. Kung mayroong active extension of the digits, extension of the wrist. We try to constrain the affected side of the unaffected side of the stroke, and we try to at least have the affected side to move, no? So tinitrain natin siya. And really patient education, as I've said, ergonomics is very important for rehab medicine. Okay? Okay, so a physician is obliged to consider more than a diseased organ, or even the whole man. So he must view the man in his world, you know. So again, in rehab medicine, we don't just see the pathology of the patients. We also consider the psychological aspect, the social impact of the disease process of our patient. And the ultimate goal, as I've said, is to try to bring back their functionality and try to achieve the highest functional state as possible. Okay? Okay, so impairment. So any loss of abnormality of psychological, physiological, or anatomical structure or function. So clinical features, manifestation of disease or condition. Okay, so impairment. For example, you're born with it. Kunwari, wala kang kamay, no? Amelia. Wala kang foot. You're missing digits. It's something impairment. You're born with it. It's not modifiable, no? You have patients with mental, sabihin natin, mental disability, or you we have your mental incapacity. They're born with it. For example, you're born na you don't have vision, no? So it's something you have it once you're born. Okay? So it could be psychological, physiological, or anatomical structure. As I've said, you're missing a limb, you're missing a hand, for example. So you're born with it. So don't forget that the differences from impairment, disability, and handicap. So clinical features and manifestation of the disease or condition. Okay? So any loss of or abnormality. Okay? So impairment, very important. Disability. So any restriction or lack resulting from an impairment of this ability to perform an activity in the manner or within the range considered normal for a human being. Or for disability, I usually see patients like stroke patients, and then patients, for example, spinal cord injuries, no? It's acquired, acquired accident. So patient will not be able to move. Okay? Patient will not be able to at least try to improve on their mobility, okay, depending on the level pa. So, okay, for the disability, any restriction or lack resulting from an impairment of ability to perform an activity, okay? For patients, again, kung na-stroke ka, you have a difficulty in trying to write, okay? If na-stroke ka, you have a difficulty in trying to feed yourself, no? So it's, again, it's something eventually acquired, no? And the range considered normal for a human being. Okay, so from you can see on this slide, okay, from a normal functional capacity down to the true disability. Okay, kung nakita ninyo from a high function of running, kunwari nagkaroon ng spinal cord injury, functional capacity decreases. And what we try to do is to recover the functional capacity. Okay, so we try to improve on it. Okay, so there's a formula with it. No? So your normal functional capacity, we try to subtract it from your current functional capacity, divided by normal functional capacity times 100%. So yun yung measurement of true disability. Okay? And then for the significant disability, required functional capacity. So ano yung gusto natin ma-achieve, no, for you to at least kunwari ambulate. And then from your current functional capacity, and then again from the required function. So it's the significant disability formula. Okay, handicap. So it's really more on the societal aspect, no? Ano yung impact niya in terms of the societal's point of view, okay? It's a disadvantage for a given individual resulting from an impairment or a disability that limits or prevents the fulfillment of a role that is normal depending on the age, the sex, and the social and cultural factors for the individual. It's the extrinsic limiting factor. So syempre, for example, what limits a disabled person to go to the work? Syempre, we could see it in the Philippines, hindi pa tayo at par with other first world countries. No, it's very hard for our patients who have impairments and disability to sa ating mass transportation, no? Wala pang let's say mahirap for us to have a commute, no, if you have a disability or impairment. So it's the societal or it's the extrinsic limiting factor in order for our patients to go back to what they're used to doing. Okay, so it's the societal aspect. No, kumbaga, it's the bird's eye view on how you see it. Okay, so there's a handicap in terms of mobility, kumbaga, hindi pa ganun ka-friendly ang Philippines for patients with disability, no? Or yung mga PWDs natin. I hope in years to come, mas magkakaroon pa ng improvement and how we try to accommodate or help our fellow kababayans, no? And try to going back to their functional aspects. Okay, so WHO definitions. Okay. Para hindi nyo makalimutan, I usually, when I was reviewing for the board examinations for rehab medicine, para hindi ko sila napagkakamali, the most superficial is H going to I. So HDMI. Always remember your HDMI for your computers, PS5, laptops, no? H is always on the extrinsic side, pinakamataas na siya. Disability and then impaired. Okay? So if you are to correlate it at what level, as we've mentioned, if there's something on the society's point of view that try to limit your patients or your clients, it's on the handicap side. Okay? Disability, it's the full person. So again, stroke, no? Paano siya magkakaroon ng movements? Paano siya mag-ambulate? Okay? But if it's impairment, it's something, the organ or the tissue, you're born with it, no? You're born not to have, for example, your hand, you're missing a limb, no? Amelia. So, okay, so siya yung pinaka-core, no? So sabihin natin genetics, you're really born with it. So that's how we try to correlate, no? Impairment, something you're born with it. Disability as a person, or secondary like acquired, no? Spinal cord injuries, you, tapos stroke, no? Okay, and then handicap society. How is uh, yung PW patients or persons with disabilities in terms of the societal's point of view? Paano sila mag-commute? Paano sila, the way the society looks at them or the way the society will try to accept them, no? So if we say you're the person initially born missing limb, impairment. For example, diabetes, naputulan ng paa, in terms of how's the person going to walk, it's disability. If we say naman handicap, paano mag-move ang patient in terms of transportation, is the societal point of view, no? So from the more inner core down to the outermost layer. So again, HDMI, H is really more of the outer field, disability and impairment, no? So impairment is something, it's really born with it, no? Wala naman tayong magagawa. Okay? So HDMI, don't forget. Okay, clinical evaluation of functional abilities, no? So it's we have this we have gradings for this or criteria. Okay, like for stroke patients, you know, independence, functional independence measure or outcomes. For knee arthritis, KOS, knee osteoarthritis outcomes scale, marami siya, no? Determine current and required levels of function and identify the severity of the limitation and identify the limiting factors. So determine the current and required levels of function. So mostly dito, mobility, and also aspects of the activities of daily living. Paano feed the patients, paano mag-groom, paano mag-transfer. So we have to identify those factors. Identify the severity of the limitation. Okay, again, spinal cord injury is something permanent na. Okay? Paano the transfer patient, paano siya magbibihis, and identify the limiting factors, no? So it's important to address all of these. No? Okay, so management of disabilities. Ensure that the degree of significance is appropriate. We try to minimize the intrinsic limiting factor, also minimize the extrinsic limiting factor, and change the nature of the task. So again, no, minimize the intrinsic limiting factor. It's something, the pathologic state, no, neurologic. If stroke, it could be an infarct. Infarct, in layman's term, the brain or the side affected from the injury, it will not go back, no. And then extrinsic factors, we try to do something on how to improve on that. Again, we try to give law, no, from the government for the PWDs, no? So tinutulungan naman natin siya and try to change the nature of the task. Instead, before kung someone would try to, if the patient before would try to lift it on her own, eventually meron tayong mga assistive and adaptive interventions or equipments that could help the patients. Okay? Okay, so again, for the name itself, intrinsic is really coming from within. No? If eventually, syempre, may patients tayo, they're used to moving, they're used to doing tasks on their own. Syempre, intrinsic side is also psychological side, affected siya. So extrinsic is something of a hurdle from the outside, no? As you can see this one, in the picture, no? Okay, your patient has aid in trying to the mobility, no? You have your wheelchair. Pero the problem of your patient is paano siya makaakyat using the wheelchair. So how are we going to go about by this one? So if you could see, it's a requirement, no? Yung pathway for your PWDs, no? It's not just a pathway. Meron tayong mga measurements, as I've mentioned earlier, on how steep yung pathway, paakyat, no? Yung nakikita natin, the sides. And if you see it also sa mga parking areas, ideally, dapat mas maluwag yung space for patients with disabilities, no? So the limiting factor may be intrinsic, weakness of the leg muscle, could be psychological, or extrinsic, something outside, no? We have to modify stairs, you could have your elevator, your lift. So there are problems that we try to address intrinsically and extrinsically. Okay. All right. So mismatch of function expectations. Okay. In terms of trying to educate your patients, if you try to receive your patients in the acute setting, also, no, syempre there's a goal expectations for your patient. Right? For example, if you have patients who had surgery for your ACL, your meniscus, definitely, lalo na if they are an athlete, the goal is to bring back their functionality, bring back the uh, to bring them back to their sports, no? Kasi some of them, lalo na pag elite athletes, it's a way of living, no? It's something they do to provide for their families. Okay? For those cases, kailangan natin mag-set a goal, no? For rehab medicine, we always have a short-term goal and long-term goal. Okay? Siyempre, short-term goal, depending on the phase. So we try to talk to our patients and we try to emphasize na even you had surgery, recovery, hindi po agad-agad. So we have to undergo certain phases before we try to graduate in that case and try to move you to the next phase. No? For example, you have your acute rehabilitative recovery, your functional phase down to your sport specific phase. No? So we don't jump from one phase to the other. We try to clear first one phase before we try to be promoted to the next phase and down the line. Right? So we always have that mismatch of functional aspect, functional expectations. Okay? This is also very evident for patients who had a very severe stroke. Parati sinasabi ng ating patients, Doc, could I go back to my functionality from what I was before? No? Pre-injury or pre-stroke, we always say uh, we may not be able to achieve 100%, no? Kasi it's a pathologic state already. If it's an infarct, barado na. If it's a hemorrhage, as long as we try to release the pressure off, matanggal natin yung mga sabihin natin yung hemorrhagic debris, like yung blood, no? Blood kasi it's irritating to the dura. So eventually, recovery is somewhat better in comparison to infarct, no? So we try to set a goal na, and we try to at least help the patients of their expectation. Kasi if nag-promise ka rin sa patient mo, stroke patient mo, and then you see initially, we have clinical criteria kasi if the patients could go back to their functionality. If the patients won't meet their goals, syempre yung expectations naman nila, bababa, no? So there will always be a mismatch on how you set goals and the expectation of our clients, no? For example, it's similar to online, let's just say online products, siguro, no? Since it's marketed an online setting, you don't have, you can't perceive it, no? In terms of how it looks like in a personal basis, how you try to touch it. Eventually, yung expectation natin mataas, and if it's being delivered to us, magulat na lang tayo, bakit ito yung color, it can't fit me. So it's also similar to setting a goal and expectation for patients, no? So by the end of the day, very important to address or to help with is the patient's goal, no? So, kung gusto nila maka-recover, then you try to always meet halfway. That's the purpose and goal of, like for any other field or any other field of medicine or specialization. Okay? So, kung masyadong mataas yung expectation, this is the reality, there will always be a mismatch in terms of goal setting and in terms of the time frame. For example, sinabi mo, pinangako mo yung patient, you could recover in at least 2 months post-surgery of ACL. It cannot be, no? 2 months pa lang, you still have your swelling, atrophied yung muscles, no? So expectation ng patient, makakabalik na agad sa elite competitive training niya. But in reality, uh, we're far from it. Rehabilitation cases on your ACL and meniscus, depending on the protocol you follow and depending on your surgeons, from 6 months to 1 year usually in time frame natin. Okay? Longer if it's Achilles tendon rupture, no? Like Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Kobe Bryant. No? It takes time talaga. Okay? Again, in setting goal, uh, try to at least have your expectations in line with the reality. Okay? Don't try to set goals that you cannot achieve. No? Mahihirapan ang patients to try to recover in terms also to the psychological side of trying to recover from the disease state or pathology. Okay, task at hand. So optimize function. No? As a rehab practitioner, as a physiatrist, we always try to improve on the functional capacity of our patient. Pain relief, definitely musculoskeletal, neuropathic pain. Prevent and manage complications. Show patients we want to prevent yung mga secondary complications of immobility. For example, your bed sore. Okay, so definitely we try to improve on that. Coordinate care above all. Okay, field of medicine, we are a holistic, kumbaga sabihin natin field, no? One field would not be enough in terms of management cases, no? We are always team oriented. Okay, so physiatrist, no, is sabihin natin is the main physician, but we need help also from our colleagues, no, from allied health also. We need help from physical therapy or physiotherapist, occupational therapist, no, speech language. We have your sports science people also, no, and then orthotist, prosthetist. No? So malaki ang team, no. You also have your psychologist, and down the line, malaki ang team of rehab medicine, and every individual or every member, meron tayong contribution. No? It's really a team effort that we are in, and eventually, always educate your patients. As you've seen, there's an expectation, there's a reality. Dapat maset natin yung achievable goals natin. Right? Sorry for a while. No. Right. Sige. Okay, so member of the rehabilitation team, no? So, as you can see here, syempre, sabihin natin the leader or the person that would facilitate the rehabilitation program of our patients would be your physiatrist, no? Physical medicine and rehab specialist. Okay. Again, it's physiatrist, it's not psychiatrist. It's commonly pag-intertwine kapag papalit natin. Okay. So if you could see here, no, yung pictures natin, no, this could be an acute setting, baka recovering for cardiac rehab. We have interventions, no, for this one. It could be an adolescent for scoliosis, similar to this one. No, siguro tina-try natin check yung up angle, no, Cobb's angle. And for this patient, no, on the right-hand side of your screen, your part, undergo na ng amputation. Okay, it could be something of a cancer. It could be of something of traumatic. So, kailangan natin i-assess on what assistive devices, no, pwede natin ibigay, no? Like below the knee amputation, if it's above the knee amputation. So, kailangan pa natin siyang pag-usapan with your orthotist, prosthetist, no? So, it's really a team effort in the field of rehab medicine, no? Syempre, if you have your cardiologist, no? Pag nag-clear, cardiac rehab. If you have your neurologist, pag nag-clear neurologic state ng patient, medically cleared, hindi na bumababa or nag-iiba yung BP ng patient, wala na mga shortness of breath, then we come in. Okay? Amputation for patients, diabetic foot. So pag nag-clear eventually yung ortho, eventually outpatient basis, if we try to achieve the stump, Yun yung tawag natin sa residual, sa remaining limb, no? Okay, the sound limb is residual limb. Eventually, if we try, susukatan natin sila ng prosthesis, okay? So we have also the rehabilitation nurse, no? So really we are a team approach. Syempre, during the setting na naka-admit ang patient, we also have nurses on duty to try to help facilitate yung mga medical needs, giving of medicines, no? Trying to replace the IV fluids. So kailangan natin ng help from the rehabilitation nurses. Definitely physiotherapists, no? Physical therapists, no? So we are really a team effort in trying to achieve the patient's goal. Okay. So we also have occupational therapists, no? From the name itself, we're trying to improve on the function aspect. If you can see here, no, ito yung assistive and adaptive devices. Patient siguro suffering from osteoarthritic changes. So if you can see, pinapalakihan natin yung grip handle. Okay? If you can see also sa occupational therapies and driving, no? Theoretically, by the book, lalo na sa first world countries, patients who had spinal cord injuries, pwede kang magkaroon modification even though they cannot move their lower extremities. Pwede ma-modify sa vehicle para gamit, no? Pwedeng sa hand, no? Yung in terms of, sabihin natin, trying to operate yung mga vehicle. Okay? And then we have, again, occupational therapist, no? You can see this one, no? So there's a proper length or width of the door, try to accommodate on what type of wheelchair. Pwede yung conventional, pwede yung electronic. Siyempre, pag electronic, mas mahaba pa yung width of the door. You have your orthosis. Siguro this patient is suffering from stroke, no? Just to prevent yung contractures, you have this resting hand splint din. Okay, pwede siya. And in this position kasi, you can be functional. No? Kaya siya naka-letter C. Even you have stroke, yung gantong ganito kasi yung position of hand, no? You could try to open door, you could try to use your glasses, no? You could try to at least grasp something, no? So maraming important things that we really consider, not just the pathologic basis, but more importantly, the functional outcome and trying and how we try to at least improve on it for our patients. Okay, no? Kung nakikita nyo dito, patients that siguro recovering from stroke, we need an improvement in the fine aspect, no, fine movements of the hand. So we try to improve on from the help of our occupational therapist, colleague, no, for allied health. Speech therapy is very important. Patients suffering from dysphagia, dysarthria, from the stroke. So we try to improve on for a while. Okay. So that's for the speech therapist. Chaplain, no? We also try to deal with cases like, sabihin natin, terminally ill cases, ba? Aside from your palliative specialists, no? If we see this patient, syempre, kailangan na sabihin natin yung sa religious boost, no? Trying to help them. We also have the chaplain that could actually try to extend help for patients in terms of their religious side. Tapos, syempre, we have the orthotist and the prosthetist, no, that could help us. No? If you could see here, yung orthosis natin or yung mga prostheses, okay, yung dito sa pinakababa, mukhang nagbibigay ng below the knee prostheses for our patients. No? So, very important in the field of rehab medicine. As a team approach talaga tayo. Okay? Okay, social worker, very important. No? We're trying to eventually incorporate our patients to the societal way. We also need the help of our social workers. No? Okay, psychologist, very important, and vocational counselor. Syempre, it's also an intrinsic factor for our patients. Syempre, patients who had stroke, spinal cord injury, vehicular accidents, kumbaga, yung aspect also of depression also sets in. So, kailangan natin ng help from a specialist also that will try to propel them to go back on the status that they want to achieve. Okay, so sabi nga, during the pandemic, it's okay for patients if they're not feeling well. It's also a normal thing. So, if someone would need help in terms of psychological aspect, we are in need of a specialist that could cater those cases. Okay? All right, so I think that's the first part of the rehab medicine, no? So at least you have a view on how we try to help our clients or our patients. Okay. Before we proceed to the next lecture, siguro let's have at least 5 minute break. So we're trying to be preventive here, no? Rehab medicine aspect. Try to at least stand up, do some stretching, no? Kasi sasakit yung likod ninyo. Okay, let's resume our lecture in 5 minutes. Okay, para 2 p.m. And then for the last hour, we have yung lectures on the history and physical examination. Okay, so you can get something, try to at least walk, do some stretching. We'll resume the lecture on 2 p.m. Okay? Okay, so it's 2 p.m. So let's try to resume our lecture. Oh, okay. Let me know if you could see the slides. Okay naman.
Okay naman po, Dok.
All right, see it. Thank you. Okay, so we are to proceed with the second lecture, no? More on how we try to examine our patients or do our physical examination. Okay. Okay, so we'll be discussing on the physiatric history and the physical examination, and hopefully, eventually you could do it or apply it also to your patients once you enter your clerkship, right? So it's a data platform from which treatment plan is developed. So very important, no? We are very heavy on physical exam, mostly for your knees, for your shoulders, for your wrists, your hand, for patients who had stroke, neuromuscular also, we check everything, no? Very important. It's a written record that tries to communicate to rehabilitation and non-rehab healthcare professionals. Okay, so first we go to the physiatric history. Again, no, not psychiatrist, no, it's the physiatrist. Okay, I hope hindi siya nakabulol, no. I also had a hard time first encounter of physiatry, no. Mahirap siya i-pronounce, pero eventually, since we are in the field, no, sasanay naman din. Okay, so for the history, okay, very important. It's the recognition of the functional deficits. Okay, swallowing. May problem ba if dysphagia? Meron pang problems in trying to communicate, no? A breast example would be stroke patients. So it's one-sided weakness. For example, if you have a stroke, patients who came into you with right-sided weakness, so brain, it's the left side of the brain that is affected. It's crossing over. Okay, those patients would also be not just problem with their grip, mobility, since it's one side, even the pharyngeal muscles are also affected. No? So meron silang problem with swallowing. Majority of them, lalo na pagka new yung stroke, they won't be able to try to tolerate liquid form, even few ml lang. So we have yung water bottle swallow test, no? Bedside, at least 30 ml. We try to ask the patients if they could try to consume 30 ml in one setting. Pag hindi naman sila nagkaroon ng nabulunan or napaubo, we can proceed with eventual improving on the liquid aspects, no? For starters, for patients who had stroke, we give yung mas malapot na consistency. It tries to improve on the swallowing pagka mas malapot yung consistency. Okay? Communication, syempre you could encounter patients who had different form of aphasia. It could be expressive, no? Uh, you have your Broca's, you have your uh, uh, complete form of aphasia, no? Global aphasia, Wernicke's, no? You have your mobility issues, no? We have to check on this one. Cognition, if naintindihan ba tayo ng patients. Activities of daily living, etc. No? Meron pa tong 11 forms of the ADLs kailangan natin ma-check, no? Caused by illness or injury for the design of treatment program is and to definitely with the end goal of to restore the performance. And we try to check also the functional capacity. Syempre, eventually, if you could see for your manual muscle testing, may gradings yan, no, from 5 to 0. Siguro if there's something that you try to take home on the lecture also on how to do your physical examination, physiatric, kahit yung MMTs man lang or yung mga cranial nerves, eventually you could master on it. Okay? It's a physical deficit and a functional impact. Okay, so let's start with the chief complaint. So, ano yung pinaka-complaint, no? So you have your IPD, bakit pumunta yung patient? So just to give you a tip, patients would come into you maraming complaints, no? Neck pain, back pain, mobility issues, no? So as the doctor or as you're the future doctors, no? It's also a skill that you eventually learn kasi maraming complaints of patient and you try to guide them eventually that you could mention siguro among ma'am sir among you the complaints that you've mentioned or the pain that you've mentioned which is the most painful. So, at least you have your chief complaint already. Ano yung pinaka-disturbing sa kanila? Okay? Chief complaint is a symptom or concern that causes the patient to seek medical treatment. And in us, we see it as functional loss and its resolved. So, it could be chief complaint, um, mobility, no? So, at least alam na natin, stroke yung patient, spinal cord injury yung patient. So, ano yung gagawin natin to improve on that, no? So, we try to strengthen yung muscles that are weak. So, we try to at least improve on it, give modalities, give electrical stimulation, and eventually, if there's a need of assistive devices like your ankle foot orthosis for stroke patients, bibigyan natin down the line for the program. But for the chief complaint, ano yung pinaka worrisome for the patient that sought consult to you as a specialist, no? So again, kung wari back pain, shoulder pain, ask the patient, try to rank ano yung pinaka-concerning, and then you have your chief complaint, okay? So try to narrow or zero it, okay? Sige, past medical and surgical history, medication and allergies, very important to us, no? What we call polypharmacy, patients would have a lot of medicines, no? There could be an interaction. So you also check on it. Medications, like for us, no, we are heavy on pain medicines, no? Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory disease, drugs, right? Very important to ask the patients if they are allergic to it. Parati yan sa mga COX-2 inhibitors or COX inhibitors, no, may allergy. No, you'd see patients, always don't forget to ask your patients if they have allergies for such. Kasi this could be life-threatening for yung mga COX na medication. Sorry, no, allergies also, syempre, try to look on it. Seafoods, no, skin allergies, syempre, we put on modalities. So try to ask your patient. Diet, okay? Past medical and surgical history. As for cardiovascular, kamusta yung cardiac function? For patients who underwent open heart surgery, marami masyado yung barado, no? Not just one single artery, like your left anterior descending artery, kung may circumflex down the line. Pwedeng nag-open heart surgery. Pag masyadong madami, hindi na kaya ng stent. Okay? So, also for the peripheral vascular diseases, yung mga PAOD, peripheral arterial occlusive diseases, marami tayong nakikita nito in clinics. Pulmonary COPD, asthma patients, restrictive form. It could be obstructive, it could be restrictive. No, in your pathology or internal medicine or pulmo, definitely you'd know this very well. Ano yung functional test? We try to get this also for the cardiopulmonary capacity. We have yung rating of perceived exertion. We try to compute this also like yung mga carbonants natin, maximal heart yung rate natin. So we try to compute on this. And what would be the oxygen requirement? No? Kasi like for COPD cases, it's understood that they won't be able to achieve 99 or 100% O2. No? Happy na tayo sa 90% and for some cases, O2 supplementation is a must. Okay? Sige, so rheumatology cases, kung may mga autoimmune cases pa yung patients ninyo, no? Multiple joint pain, is it symmetric? Is it asymmetric? Neurological, if it's stroke, definitely if it's chronic or progressive, okay? You have patients like yung mga ALS natin, Parkinson's diseases, and syempre yung musculoskeletal intelligence, no? So, could be tendinitis, no? Or syempre mga tears. So, you ask on it also, okay? So, psychosocial history, substance abuse is very important, okay? If your patients are alcoholics, if your patients are taking illegal sort of drugs, no? If they're smokers, try to ask this politely siguro and if they're open to it, okay? Again, this was discussed also in your IPD, definitely, no, for the psychosocial history. Also try to ask for the family and friend support in the living situation. So kung sa amin, ang pinaka-important in our field is the living situation. So syempre, if you have a patient who had stroke or spinal cord injury, it's important for us to know the mobility status, no? Paano tayo aalis sa ganitong situation. In our textbooks, no, it's a Western textbook. Very important also is you try to inform sabihin natin the fire station, the nearest fire station from the house of the living situation of the patient. For example, may problem in terms of mobility, inform, no, how many doors you have, so pwedeng fire exit. So it's also important. I'm not sure if this is being applied here in the Philippines setting, no? Okay, so this is very important for us is the living situation, lalo na yung sa mobility of the patients. Okay? Vocational history, ano ba yung profession ng patients natin, no? Siyempre, if the profession of patients, for example, professor, they would want to go back to teaching. Ano yung like for example, if they are an athlete, they want to go back to their field right away. Vocational history also is very important, and psychiatric history. If patients had history of depression, anxiety, or suicidal events, no? Very important din sa amin yung sa aspect ng psychiatric history also. Kasi patients who suffering from stroke, suffering from spinal cord injury, definitely depression and anxiety really comes to try to sink in, no? Or sink in for our patients. So we try to improve on it also. And then if may pwede tayong gawin like trying to talk to your patients and trying to give medications that would try to improve on them, like your mga SSRIs, no, like mga escitalopram, no. So we try to give it as first hand, and from our psychiatry colleagues, no. So for them, it's also fine to give something already to the patient. If it's not working, then that's the time they see it for patients, no, for consultations, no. Kasi mahirap magpa-consult for a psychiatrist, no. Fully booked usually, mahaba ang kanilang consultations, and there's a really the good thing about now, no, is we see the mental aspect, no, that the mental health issues is actually very hindi na siya nasa-set aside. Very important also. So that's something very important. Before, years back, no, if you're suffering from depression, anxiety, it's a taboo already. So nowadays, slowly, it's being recognized na kailangan talagang tulungan, no? Kasi it's very incapacitating for some patients, right? Psychosocial, you also ask for sexual history. Males, patients who suffered from syempre spinal cord injury, no, meron silang erectile dysfunction, no, ejaculation difficulties, part of it. Female also, uh, irregular menstruation, dysmenorrhea, dyspareunia, and decreased in libido. Okay? Financial aspect also is very important kasi uh, it's a lifelong journey for patients who suffered from stroke and spinal cord injury. And for some pediatric patients, patients with mental capacity, you know, for you're born with it, no? And then sabihin natin cerebral palsy patients, no? You also need to consider the financial aspect of the patient. You try to prioritize first kung ano yung mas important. Okay? So it's really a holistic approach in terms of the physical med and rehab field, no? Okay, family history, try to ask for health issues, cause and age of death for some patients, no? And genetic disorders, very important. Syempre, if you're entertaining autoimmune diseases, you syempre elicit this one with your family history. Very important, we're training you to be first line physicians, no? General medicine. It's very important to have a very good history taking. As your IPD professors would say to you, 90% of your diagnosis is found in the history itself, history and physical examination, and the remainder, diagnostics, no? So we are heavy on physical exam history, very important. At least ma-practice nyo talaga yung skill na to. Okay? So review of system, so if it's systemic, no, if your patients, very important to for us, no, we encounter this review of system, lalo na for red flags of back pain, fever, nausea, fatigue, weight loss, this is a red flag. No? If we try to catch this from our cases, we try to investigate on it. No, we see patients with past disease, back pain lang pala, pero eventually hindi binibigyan priority ng patient. POTS disease. Ang worst, if patients with POTS disease, naging spinal cord injuries, no? So it's very detrimental, no? So always, in trying to, for back pain, ask for the red flags, no? If the pain is great, pain seen from 65 years old and above, okay? Pain is seen from the pediatric, no? So it's something that's alarming. Weight loss, of course, it could be cancer, it could be pathologic state like tuberculosis. So very important is to check everything, no? Skin rashes and pressure areas, okay? This could be very helpful in dermatology cases or your rheumatology case, no? Gastrointestinal review of system, syempre, kung may problem ang patients with medicines like your COX inhibitors, you won't give na syempre NSAIDs. Dysphagia, very important to look at your patients kasi syempre, if you're having dysphagia, nutritional aspect also sets in, no? Chronic cases, kung hindi kaya mag-feed ng patients, we try to refer also for gastroenterologist for PEG insertion, no? So diretso na sa stomach yung food intake to improve on the nutritional capacity of the patient. uh, Gastrointestinal bleeding, nausea, vomiting, constipation, and neurogenic bowel. Very important sa amin, spinal cord injuries. Very important to recognize this one. Genitourinary, syempre neurogenic bladder, UTI, stones, structure, nutrition status, very important, no? Syempre, pag stroke patients, mahirapan kumain, mahirapan mag-feed. Therefore, patients could look cachectic, no? The condition and with disease states, no? Neuromuscular, weakness, numbness, paresthesia, visual problems, and coordination. We really check on this one, no? Pwede na kasi mga autoimmune cases, no? It's very hard to identify them. We usually ask help from your rheumatologists. Okay, so we go now to physiatric examination, physical exam proper. Okay, so we all need examination to support and formulate the diagnosis. We do special tests, like for your shoulder, you have your Hawkins, you have your NIRS, okay? You have your speeds down the line, no? So, but not all special test maneuvers are very high yield, no? So, mamimili lang tayo. Physiatric examination is also important to screen for other condition not suggested by history. Okay? Minsan kasi patients, meron tayong tinatawag na malingering patients, no? Even physical kaya niya, pero there are malingering na, no? So you would catch them, no? There's a criteria for this one, okay? Again, physiatric examination differs from general medicine examination. We have two principal tasks for physiatric exam. We need to scrutinize patients for physical finding high on this. Okay. We also need to identify the remaining physical, psychological, intellectual strength, no, to serve as a base from which to establish the functional independence. Okay. Always important for us is the functional aspect that the patient would achieve. Okay, physical exam, like for any other, like for the your beats, no? Okay. Dahan-dahan tayo and we try to start from head down. But the focus of our rehab medicine is the musculoskeletal system. Very important. Okay? Conventional physical exam, IPA, inspection, palpation, percussion, auscultation. It differs pag pag abdominal, no? Naiiba siya. We are very high on inspection, palpation, no? Very important sa amin sa rehab medicine. Okay, so musculoskeletal examination, we always start from inspection. Okay, patient comes in, the problem with mobility, mahina. On inspection, you see that there's an atrophy of the thigh muscular loop, no? So you We do palpation, syempre, important to. Try to look for mga myofascial pain syndromes, no? May mapalpit kayong nodular areas or tight areas, no? Or taut areas. Range of motion as well as the end feel, no? Marami pa to, no? If it's hard end feel, if it's uh, this end feel, no? So marami siya, no? We also know certain degrees, no? For example, certain cervical flexion at this up to this level only. Extension, anong segments of the cervical spine that would give you extension and rotation. Okay? Shoulder flexion is important kahit sa inyo lang at level. Okay, maximum flexion is 180. Okay, anterior flexion as well as abduction. Okay, 60 degrees or is for the shoulder extension. Expect for you to memorize this one. But important lang, at least you have a clinical eye. For example, patients have a difficulty in flexing the shoulders or abduction. You know there's a pathology. It could be adhesive capsulitis, there could be a shoulder rotator cuff tears, no? So marami siya. So sa amin, sa rehab medicine, it's important for us to know yung full range. Kasi definitely, if the patient won't be able to achieve that full range of motion, for some cases, no, we have also the painful arc of the shoulder movement. We know the pathology. So we supplement our physical examination with diagnostics eventually, like for your musculoskeletal ultrasound or your shoulder MRI. No? Elbow flexion is 150. There's really no 180, no? Kasi mag-i-paint na yung bulk ng muscles. Okay. So I don't expect for you guys to memorize everything. Mahirap siya, no? If it's the forearm pronation and supination, this is 90 degrees, okay? 90 on pronate, 90 on supination. Wrist extension, radial deviation, and ulnar deviation, okay? Second MCP, don't forget, no? 90-degree flexion lang yan, okay? Nakita nyo, ano? No 90 beyond 90 degree. Second, fifth, proximal interphalangeal joint flexion. So this is MCP, PIP, DIP. Okay, if you could try to take a look from 90 degree, medyo mas maano pa sila, no? There's a give, no, up to 100 degree. Hip flexion and extension. Okay, definitely hip flexion. Knee to chest, 120 degrees. Abduction, it's 45 lang, no? Hindi naman siya 180. Knee flexion, very important for us, lalo na pagka recovering from the surgical cases, no? We would want to achieve at least 130 or 135 degrees. Ankle dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So these are the degrees. No, we don't expect you to memorize this everything. No, pero if you could try to browse on this slide, very important. No? Okay. Joint stability assessment. We do special tests. Like for example, we try to do the anterior drawers test for your knees, for your ankles. Okay, we try to assess if there's a full tear, may partial tear ba siya. Contractures, note on the physical examination that you won't be able to do the full range because of the contracture. Muscle strength testing, very important, no? Yung MMT. Okay, later on, we are to discuss this one, no? Kagaya nakalagay dito sa baba, no? Your manual muscle testing is the make and break for us, no? So rehab specialists. FMT, no? Grip strength, deep knee bends, heel to toe walking, sit-ups. We do this, no? We have gradings for this one. Okay, pero important for you, if you could try to browse on this one, no problem. But again, we don't expect for you to memorize everything. Marami criteria to, no? So, at least you can try to browse on this, no? MMT, kahit for this slide, MMT is very important, no? Caution, breakaway weakness and substitution. Kasi there could be a spiral muscle, no? Yung sabihin natin sa angle that tries to substitute for the movements, no? Like for your biceps, again, if you could recall in your first year, it's not the prime flexor of the elbow, it's your brachialis, no? So biceps is the prime supinator of the forearm, no? So meaning to say there could be a substitution of muscles that would help you aid to achieve a certain movement, right? So okay, this is very important. Take a look. No? So let's try to start from 0 to 5. No, manual muscle testing. So for example, 0, you grade a muscle depending on the joint if if there's a muscle, if there's an action that crosses the joint. Okay. So for example, for the biceps, it's graded 0 for any other parts of the body. If you try to ask your patient, ma'am, try to move your elbow flexion, try to flex your elbow or bend your elbow. If there's really a no movement or anything or a trace of or a palpable contraction, it's grade 0. So for example, ma'am, try to bend your elbow. Gravity eliminated na, nakahiga. If there's no movement, it's graded 0. Okay? It's graded 1 if there's a trace movement. So the description with flexion, no joint movement. So for example, elbow flexion, nag-contract lang ng ganyan. Okay, so that's grade 1 already. Okay, so grade 2, you have to eliminate gravity. Okay, so if you do elbow flexion at this manner, the gravity is not eliminated. No? So you try to move your elbow in a manner na naka side lying yung patient and ask to bend the elbow. So that's gravity eliminated, provided take note ha, the criteria is full range of motion. To flexing, no, at 135 degrees, full range of motion, that's graded 2. Always remember the full range of motion for you to satisfy the grading. Okay, so again, this is 4. Okay, that's grade 2. So if you want to check for grade 3 na, gravity, against gravity na, no? So pwede mo nang paupuin si patient. If the patient could do a full range of motion, nagawa niya, na-clear niya yung range of motion. So that's graded 3. Okay, if it's 4, you give a resistance na. So tell your patients, ma'am, try to resist my resistance. So try to resist my force. If nare-resist ni patient and merong giving, so you could grade it as 4. Pero ang 5 is grade 5 is normal, full range of motion against maximum resistance. Now, for example, ma'am, try to resist my force. Okay? Hindi mo na nare-resist yung range of motion ni ma'am. No? So at least you have a grade 5 already. No? So very important dito, yung grade 2 and 3, the criteria is full range of motion. Gravity is eliminated gravity. So for example, how are you going to test the hip flexion? Okay, gravity eliminated, no? Definitely, against gravity is lying supine, knee to chest. Paano mo siya ma-eliminate? Okay, try to ask your patient in, sabihin natin, side lying and do knee to chest. No? It's one way of trying to eliminate the force of gravity. Okay, so yun yung important for me. This slide is very important. We could ask questions from the MMT, no? At least may mabaon man lang kayo for the physiatric physical examination once you go down the line. No? Kasi this is very important also for stroke patients. Okay, knowing the improvement. No? Kasi syempre, coming from you, no movement, 0. Tapos eventually, nagkakaroon ng up to the normal, 5 out of 5. Okay, so very good na siya. No? Okay, physiatric examination. Okay, mobility activities. No? Bed mobility, transitional movement from supine lying to sitting down to standing. So dahan-dahan. We try to progress slowly. Nakahiga si patient, eventually gradual backrest elevation, eventually sitting and dangling. So pinapaupo na natin si patient at the edge of the bed, no? Eventually to bedside sitting, sits to stand, down the line, no? Parallel bars, ambulation na rin siya, no? So wheelchair, siya yung pinakamababang form even yung sa criteria of cerebral palsy, no? Activities of daily living, marami to 11, no? So household activities and driving. So marami kaming try to consider everything in terms of the functional aspect of the patients. Okay, transfers, no? There's a good way on try to transfer our patients, lalo na from elderly, kasi prone na sila to have, sabihin natin, yung orthostatic hypotension. So first and foremost, from lying spine, advise your patient to do a side lying. Okay, huwag mo munang papagalawin. Try to give at least 30 seconds to minute. So from side lying, our patients would try to pull the trunk slowly. And then you try to ask the patient to sit down, no, para mag-try to accommodate, no, yung mga baroreceptors, no, from the neck area. And then from that, try to transfer from the wheelchair, okay? And then eventually there's an aid or physical therapy, the doctor, the aides, no, that would help the patients, no? And then from going back to the bed slowly, no? Just remember always to lock, okay? Yung brakes dito, i-lock din nyo kasi pwedeng maging cause of fall. Very important, no? So slowly, okay, try to transfer. Okay, there's a proper proper positioning of the wheelchair in terms of the bed, no? Okay, at least 45-degree angulation. And then down the line, no? So dahan-dahan transfers natin. Hindi siya biglang try to lift everything, no? Uh, it's really case-to-case basis. Okay? Okay, gait pattern is very important for us. We try to assess for speed, balance, ano ba yung stride niya, kamusta ba yung, is it a short stride, is it a long stride, step length also, okay, may proper cadence, we try to count it also, arm and leg swing, important, kasi there's certain gait patterns we see in different pathologic states, like for example, stroke patients, pag masakit ang tuhod, antalgic gait, pag may stroke is the hemiplegic gait. So makikita ninyo patients. So depending on their gait patterns, makikita ninyo, alam nyo na rin yung disease pathology or the disease state. Okay, so hemiplegic gait, it's an upper motor neuron. So this is important, no? The problem is central in origin, stroke patients. Okay, usually patients would makikita ninyo nakaganyan. It's the flexor synergy pattern, extensor synergy pattern. Ang movement niya, parang nagsiswing on. Ganyan, no? Sabay siya. Okay? Scissoring gait, this is commonly seen on patients with cerebral palsy. Disease state, cerebral palsy, SCI, MM, multiple sclerosis, cortical spinal tract, hypertonic leg. Parang nagkicriss-cross across ng ganyan, no? Okay? Ataxic gait, pag may problem with cerebellar dysfunction. Wide gait, wide stance, no? Masyadong hindi closed, no? Masyadong dapat side, broad-based stance, no? Irregular din yung stride din niya and step length. Trendelenburg, if you could recall my lecture siguro, I'm not sure if I was the one who lectured this one during your med school. Mahina si gluteus medius. Okay, so nagsasag yung affected side or the stance side, no? So hip abductor weakness, you can see on polio, myopathy, gluteal nerve injury. Okay, it's your superior gluteal nerve, no, which supplies your gluteus medius and minimus, but not your maximus. Pelvic sags on the opposite side of the affected side, and the trunk lurches on the weakened side. So just imagine you ask your patients to be in a stance face, no? Yung right side is naka-stand, and yung left side is the one with unsupported limb. So mangyayari kung nakaganto yung patients ninyo, magsasag siya sa opposite side. But ang weak muscle is on the stance side, no? Yung gluteus medius mo kasi won't be able to pull your trunk in a neutral degree, no? So, parating stance ang titingnan ninyo. Dito yung assessment, okay? It would sag on the opposite side, but the weakened side is on the one that's on the stance face, okay? So, that's for the Trendelenburg. Hemiplegic gait, this is very classic on patients with stroke, no? Makikita ninyo, ganun yung movement nila. That's a hemiplegic gait. We also have the antalgic gait pag masakit ang mga tuhod, no? Di ba, for example, for you who had ankle sprain, knee side, you don't want to wear to give weight bearing on the affected side kasi painful siya. So that's the antalgic gait. Parkinson's, makikita ninyo to. Okay? Basal ganglia disorders, stoop posture, narrow base of support, shuffling gait, no? Tendency for retropulsion, loss of arm swing. Okay, normal gait pattern kasi from your heel strike, no? You have your strike, you have your stance phase, you have your swing phase. May movement talaga effortlessly of the arm. Step age gait, peripheral nerve, lumbar plexopathy or peroneal nerve palsy. Okay, wala kang common peroneal nerve or deep peroneal nerve. You don't have dorsiflexion, therefore, yung patients inyo makikita pag naglalakad gaganon yung foot nila, no? Wala kang something to pull your dorsiflexors, no? Foot slap. Okay? Naririnig ninyo, no? Pag naglalakad siya, gumaganon yung foot niya, no? Kasi merong problem, peripheral nerve or peroneal nerve palsy. Okay? Alright, activities of daily living. Very important, no? Marami siyang aspects. We try to look at it on the further slides. Okay, sorry, no? ADLs, marami siya. If you have a chance to look at the Lisa or Bradoms, no? Nandito yung 11 aspects. ADLs, okay? Feeding, grooming, okay? Marami siya. Okay? So, neurologic examination, okay. Meron tayong level from drowsy, lethargic, stupor, abducted, Glasgow coma scale. Usually, this is being used for the mental status, for the mental consciousness of the patients, no? Very important, no? Sa amin, we have subsets pa, the Denver, lalo na pagka mga traumatic brain injury, no? So, iba pa siya. Cognitive evaluation, we would want to know if the patient is oriented, if the patient is attentive, patient could recall, knows the general information. Kasi some of these are higher function activities of the brain. No? So if you know yung insight judgment, no? Abstract thinking is very important, the highest form of functioning of the brain. No? If if this is impaired, alam ninyo may problem patient would may hirapan siya to try to try to solve things. No? So that's for the higher function of the brain. Okay, so speech, language, function, and communication. Comprehension, kamusta ba? If your patient's suffering from the Broca's aphasia, and the patient can comprehend, naintindihan ka ba niya? Or the patient could understand you, but the patient not able to at least try to express his or herself. Verbal communication, mayroon bang dysarthria? Okay, may problems in reading, no? Iba-ibang form of aphasia and gestural communication. It's very important, no? Like for patients deaf, no? And mute. Very important also yung communication, gestural communication or yung mga sign languages. Glasgow coma, okay? You have different subset from your E, V, M. Okay? E, may apat para hindi nyo na ito malilito. EVM, verbal, you have 5. M, you have 6. Doon yung siya trying to to take a look at this one. No? Eye-opening, for example, patients who are in the ICU. Okay? Kahit anong sternal rub ninyo, pressure on the nail, masakit siyang gawin. Pag hindi siya nag-respond, no response, graded 1. GCS, there's no grade 0. So lowest grade that you could have is grade 3. 1 for every subset. Opens to pain. For example, si patient, sternal rub ka, gaganon, mag-open yung eyes, so it opens to pain, it's grade 2. Opens to verbal stimuli, kumari tulog. Ma'am, wala ka pang tapping pero nagigising na siya. And spontaneous, okay, nakakausap mo, you could converse, okay? So verbal response, again, no, don't forget it's EVM. Let's try to write something, no? Para hindi nyo makalimutan, EVM. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Pagka-verbal naman tayo, 5. Okay? No response, ibig sabihin, try nyo kausapin, wala. No? Even murmuring, no? Wala. Incomprehensible sounds, this is grade 2. Okay, mga ganyan. Inappropriate words, sir, ano pong edad ninyo? The patient could say, I'm a male, I'm a female, ganon. Disoriented, converses, it's confused. Kung wari tinanong ninyo, sir, kailan po kayo nadala dito sa ICU? No? So, meron lang confusion, pero you'd know at least it's a better grading. 4. Pag 5, you could talk spontaneously, no problem. Oriented, it converses. Okay? So again, we've covered your E4, verbal, and then 6 for motor response. Okay? Grade 1 is no response. Okay? Grade 2, decerebrate, naka-extend. Grade 3 is decorticate rigidity, naka-flexion siya, no? Okay? Flexion withdraws to pain. For example, trinay mong tusukin something, no? So, gagalawin niyang gano'n. tinayin mo tusukin dito, gagalawin niya, no? So, grade 5, grade 5 localizes to pain. Pag tinusok ninyo, for example, other hand, kaya niyang kunin. No? Grade 6 is base command, spontaneously, highest function. So don't forget your GCS, very important. It's for the eye opening, for the verbal response, and for the motor response, EVM. In cranial nerves, you try to elicit olfactory from your optic, oculomotor, trochlear, abducens, trigeminal, auditory, vagus, and hypoglossal. Very important, in your IPD for sure, no, you've had the chance to try to stimulate everything, no, for the cranial nerves. Okay, reflexes, we have your superficial, no? For the cornea, try to strike the cornea, mag-close yung eye. Pharyngeal, if you try to touch the posterior pharynx, no? Mapapaubo. Palatal, soft touch of the palate, mag-elevate. Epigastric, no? Downward stroke, okay? Magkakaroon ng dimpling of the ipsilateral epigastric. And abdominal, stroke the beneath costal, contraction of the abdominal quadrant, no? Per segment, alam ninyong magiging intact siya if there's a response, no? For the corneal, pag may magandang response, the pons is intact. Pharyngeal, it's the medulla as well as the palatal. Epigastric, we're trying to check for this ones for spinal cord injury patients, no? Okay, so epigastric and abdominal, very important. Okay, for the plantar aspect, you try to give a stimulus, no? So apply to the sole. You're trying to check for the segmental, no? L5, S1, and S2. Cremasteric, no? Stroke the medial upper thigh, no? There's ipsilateral elevation of testicles for the males. Gluteal skin of the buttock, no? There's a contraction of the gluteus. Bulbocavernous, no? It's similar, no? We have the anlage, no? For the male and female, no? Bulbocavernous, we do it usually for spinal cord injury patients. We try to pinch the glans penis. There's an insert. There's an examining digit on the anus. Try to pinch the glans of the penis. There could be an contraction. If this is present, definitely hindi affected yung S3, S4 segment. It's also similar for the clitoris, no? Try to pinch the clitoris. There's an anal contraction, no? Anal prick the perineum, no? There's a rectal sphincter. We also do it for spinal cord injury patients. Very important to try to classify your patients if having spinal cord injury, if it's a complete form, no? Definitely there's no response. Okay, ito na lang, no? Very important din. There's a certain myotomal distribution, no? If you try to check for the biceps, it's the C5, C6. Triceps is C7, C8. Brachioradialis, it's a flexor of the elbow, it's C5, C6. Pronator teres is C6, 7. Patella, L2, L3, L4 is your femoral nerve. That's for the patella reflex, no? So try to strike the patella, magkakaroon ng response, okay? Extension of the knee. Medial hamstring, no? L5, S1, and Achilles. We don't expect everything for you to remember this one, no? Just try to remember the important ones, like your biceps, your triceps, your patella, no? And your Achilles, no? So try to browse on this, okay? Pathologic reflex, Babin's is always something pathologic. Shadox, Shansky, as well as your Oppenheim. And primitive also reflex sucking, snout, rooting, and palmomental as well as your grasp, no? If these are present, syempre, pag pediatric, there's a pathology that's happening, no? Definitely motor control, no? Strength and muscle tone. We do this, no? We have the modified Ashworth, the Bardew scale. Meron pa tong guidelines, no? We check on spasticity, rigidity, no? Marami pa siya. Balance and coordination, as well as involuntary movement. Okay? Apraxia could be motor, could be form of neurologic sensory examination. Very important for us, lalo na pag spinal cord injury. If there's a sparing of the pain receptors, no? good ang patient, no? Okay? Pag you see sparing of the pain over light touch, okay, mas maganda, masusunod natin siya, no? Deep, if it's the vibration, no, just posterior cord, no, and proprioception. If it's the cortical, two-point discrimination down to your sternosis. Okay, perception, lesions of the nominal parietal lobe, agnosia, no, hindi ka makilala, and then neglects, no, you see it in cases of stroke, no. Okay, special tests. Okay, Sperlings, we try to give a force, no, from the parietal area of the brain towards the spine. We try to compress on it. If the patient try to express merong mga paresthesia, there could be a problem, no? Uh, in patients, pwede may mga radicular disc test, no? Neck destruction, Lermits, no? Yung mga electric light sensation. If you try to do a flexion, no? Neck. Addison-Rus, no? Mga ganyan, no? Okay, we try to do it for thoracic outlet syndrome. We try uh, to check, no? Meron tayong pinoposition for your Addison's, shoulder abduction, shoulder flexion, and then try to ruse. This is we try to place our digits, you know, just to check if there's pulse. Okay, costoclavicular test and right hyperabduction test. No? These are all special tests. Not everyone would give a high yield. No? Pwede siyang mataas ang high sensitivity or specificity. No? But important for us rehab specialists to do these special tests just to at least have something in mind, and then we try to progress. Kung medyo doubtful for us, we try to request like MRI, CT scan, or musculoskeletal ultrasound, and down the line, no, for your EMG and CV, electromyography, and nerve conduction studies. Okay, rotator cuff is empty can test or supraspinatus test. Thumb is pointing downwards. Try to ask the patient to resist. Drop arm test. Okay, pag merong full tear for supraspinatus, you try to passively abduct, and then as your patients try to lower it down slowly, babagsak siya. No? There could be a full tear. Lift up sign, may pain. Okay, it could be your subscapularis, no? For the rotator cuff. Yergasons, you place your elbow in a flex position. You try to at least supinate the forearm and externally rotate against resistance. If there's pain or displacement of your long head of the biceps tendon, it's positive for Yergasons. Speed test, okay, shoulder in abduction, elbow in slight limited, may konting 15-degree flexion, no? And try to resist, no? Magkakos siya ng pain. Nears, okay, passive, okay? Flexion of the shoulder. If there's pain, it could be shoulder impingement of the supraspinatus tendon. Hawkins-Kennedy, if you do a internal rotation, there's a pain. Okay, apprehension test for shoulder stability, no? We check for this one if there's repeated subluxation. Okay, so we position ourselves posterior to the patient and try to give force. Patient would give an apprehension pag mafe-feel nila na mawawala. They could try to express their feelings. Dok, parang mawawala na yung shoulder ko sa joint. So that's positive for apprehension. You also have your load and shift test. Pathology of the on the resisted thumb pointing downwards, positive siya pag may pain doon, negative, and then mawawala yung pain if you try to resist on a palms up position. Crank test as well as compression rotation test. Cousin's test, we try to check for the epicondyle, no, on a resisted extension of the wrist. Ayan, no? Resisted wrist flexion and pronation also for the medial epicondylitis. Carpal ligament, scaphoid test, no? Ginagawa natin to to check for grinding. Regrants, lunotriquetral, as well as the Filken stains, no? Lalo na for your Decarvine stenosynovitis. Median nerve test, you have your phalanx and reverse phalanx, as well as Tinel sign. Any form of striking your nerve could also be a Tinel. Okay. Lumbar sign, you have your Schober's test, no? You check for the CMs, no? Kung meron kang mga ankylosing spondylitis, straight leg raise test for your, sabihin natin, no, sciatica. Okay, slump test. You also have your Bragg sign, your Patrick's test, flexion, abduction, externus rotation, your SUSTED, no, that's for the sacroiliac test, as well as your Gainslands test. Marami sila, but very important tayo dito. You have your Thomas test, no? If you see hip flexor contraction, AFLs, no? So General Berg's test. Very important, we do in the clinics in anterior drawers test, no? Sa knee joint, if there's an ACL, Lachman's test, this is a modification of degree, a pivot shift, as well as posterior drawers test for your PCL, no? Okay, Clark's test, McMurray's test for the MCL, as well as the Aplis grind test for your, McMurray's is for your meniscus, and Aplis grind's test for also your meniscus. Taylor tilt, as well as anterior drawers test for the ankle joint. No? We try to see on what grading. Syempre, if you try to do your anterior drawers test, kung walang limitation, napupul mo pa rin yung foot, no? There could be a sign of complete tear, no? Mga ATFL natin, etc. Okay? So general medical examination, very important, no, for us also. And then do your summary, problem list, plans and goals. No, always remember that goals, okay, should be at par with your patient's goals. Hindi maganda the physician is setting goal pero the patient is not able to at least try to reach for that goal. No? So it's always remember we are patient centered, so have the goals and planning always together with patients. All right, so I think that's the end of my of the slide. Okay, Discord. Sige. Okay, any questions or anything or clarifications as to rehab medicine concern? Anything in mind? Sorry. Okay, si Doc, sige, anything? Doc Guerrero, si Jan, Doc Jan, anything? Before I let you go, or any questions?
Wala naman po.
Okay, good, no? Sige, okay. Should you